Now we are going to see the nature of teaching. So nature and characteristics of teaching. The moment they say what is the nature of teaching, as we all teachers, we should all be proud of teachers, right? We should all be proud of teachers, because teachers are the community or people who create all domains of profession. Whether it is a lawyer, doctor, engineer, all must be proud of teachers. But the teacher should be sound enough to teach in his subject. Sound enough to teach his subject of specialization, right? So the moment, what is the nature of the teaching? If you are a teacher, right, you should be a continuous learner. You are a continuous student. You are a lifelong student. Teaching, you cannot say simply that teaching yesterday I have taught everything to my students. No, it is a continuous process, right? It is a continuous process. Teaching is a continuous process, never ending process. And what is the second nature? It's dynamic, social, and human. So as we teachers, most of the teachers, they do right, live with ego. So there is a huge gap between the student and teacher. So the teacher should go down to the level of the student. He should be dynamic. The teacher should be dynamic, social. He should be a friend, philosopher, guide, mentor, right? So he should be a dynamic, social, and human, right? He should be a human first with the students. So the classroom or university or college is not the place to show all ego with the students, and students are clay. Teachers have to, right, create them as a sculpts, right? So the teacher should be dynamic, social, and human. And what is the nature of teaching? Whether teaching is arts or science? No, teaching is both arts and science. Why it is called as arts and science, right? So when we teach, we are very creative. The teachers should be creative, because we are going to handle about 30-40 students in a class, right? That too in the university system, in higher education, college or university, right? So we should be innovative, right, in our approach. And you cannot teach all the students with the same method, right? The approach towards each student, dull student, average student, and elite student, right, advanced student, the approach is totally different. That the each and every individual is different in his characteristics, right? So the teacher is creative. The moment the teaching becomes creative, it comes under arts, right? Then teaching is also called a science, because it is a planned activity. Simply we cannot go and teach in the class whatever comes on our mind. We cannot just disperse to the students. So but science is a planned activity, right? The before the teacher goes to the class, he plans the activity, what to be taught, what is the method of teaching, what is the method of evaluation. There's a planned activity, right, before teaching, during teaching, and after teaching. So this is what we plan. It is a science. So teaching is both arts and science. Diverse in application. Diverse in application. So different in application. So there are the application of teaching is different. So in the classroom, what type of teaching is happening? Formal teaching. We go to a classroom and formal teaching is happening. But the student, right, learns from the environment, society. That is informal teaching, right? So the teaching is both formal and informal. So diverse in application. Diverse in application is the teacher uses different methodology, pedagogy to teach a student, like for an example, classroom teaching, practical, assignment, group discussion, brainstorming, right? Then project. So these are all diverse in application to make a student to learn. The teacher applies the different methodologies, right, pedagogy or methods to make a student learn better. Then both rational and reflective process. The teacher is very rational in his approach, what to be taught, what not to be taught to the students. At the same time, reflective process, right? Whether the taught material is understood by the student or not, right, is gathered by the reflective process from the student. From the students, we come to understand whether the subject is learned, understood, right, by the student or not. Then See, some more information I would like to give you. So just take down the notes of the video, right? So the important notes has been given in the mind map. So nature of teaching. Then some more information also I would like to give you. So what is the other nature of teaching or other components we can include? You can think over. Okay, as a teacher, you should keep all these points in your mind. Then communication, right? Unless we have communication, whatever the knowledge we have, but if we are not able to communicate what we want to convey to our students, so definitely the teaching learning will not be effective. Then goal oriented process. Teaching is a goal oriented process because we make them to learn, right? So what is teaching? We are making the students to attain certain goal in their life. So it is a conscious process. Then interactive. Teaching should be interactive. What is interactive? It is not one way process, it is two-way process. The teacher should say something. So after teaching, the teacher should ask questions. The teacher should give the space for the students to ask for questions. At the same time, he should answer the questions raised by the students, right? So it should be interactive, it should not be a one-way process. Then the teacher should have the consciousness in teaching. So teaching is also a conscious process. So these are all the information you are supposed to keep in your mind with regard to nature of teaching.